12 News at 10 starts now.
Tonight, we are learning more about a Chandler High School student killed in a car crash during his lunch hour last Thursday. Thanks so much for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Kariba Divine. Mark has the night off. The student was crossing the street when he was struck by a car near Arizona Avenue and Chandler Boulevard. 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra is joining us now in studio with the impact that this teen had on his community. Gabby?
Well, Caribe, Jabin Camacho touched many lives, something his parents were reminded of today as friends, peers, and teachers visited Chandler Regional Medical Center for his honor walk. Giving back to others is how Jabin lived his life.
Very proud.
Beyond words.
Yeah, I can't even put it into words really.
Proud doesn't even begin to cover how Benny and Mary Claire Camacho feel about their son Jabin.
Acting like a goofball, but when things got serious, he was right there.
16-year-old Jabin Camacho was a sophomore at Chandler High School, an aspiring game designer or chef, depending on the day. His bright light and caring spirit touched everyone around him.
It's just something that I think it was just in him to be helpful and be kind and be generous to anybody really.
And now his generosity will help save 3 people he never met.
His heart is going to a 15-year-old. His lungs are going to somebody that's been on a respirator, and parts of his liver are going to a 5-month-old.
Jabin was struck by a car while crossing Arizona Avenue, just in front of Chandler High School during lunch last Thursday. His friends and teachers leaving these small symbols of comfort on campus, and dozens of them attending his honor walk at Chandler Regional Hospital on Monday.
To see that he touched their lives, or they wanted to pay their respects to him for him being an organ donor, it was just really special.
Jabin was a loving brother and son to his family.
Just my little guy.
And to his peers, a competitive and genuine friend. The kind of friend his parents hope they'll always cherish.
I'm hoping that Jabin will be remembered as someone who supported you, who motivated you, and wanted to push you forward just as much as we were pushing him.
This is one of 3 crashes involving teens near Valley schools last week. His family tells me their son's crash is a tragic accident. Chandler police are still investigating. The community created a fundraiser to help family pay for medical and funeral expenses. We have a link to that on 12news.com. In studio, Gabriela Becerra, 12 News.
All right, seems like a great kid. Gabby, thank you. Well, new tonight, new video shows the moments that 52-year-old Eric Baker was arrested by Mesa police officers. Baker would later die in their custody. Mesa police say that it started when officers tried to stop Baker near Dobson and University for not having a light on his bicycle. Officers say that Baker fled, eventually crashing and then falling onto a concrete walkway. Officers say that Baker pulled away and then kicked at them. They used a taser and hit Baker to take him into custody. We blurred some of this video out where you can see blood covering part of Baker's face. Officers called paramedics to provide medical care. That's when he stopped responding on the way to the hospital and died a short time later. The Mesa Police Department is reviewing the incident. 12 News has requested body cam video and the full report, so we'll continue to follow this story as we learn more. Well, Northern Arizona University fraternity member is charged in a deadly hazing case. He has pleaded not guilty this morning in court. Carter Essick is facing 1 count of hazing following the death of 18-year-old Colin Martinez. An autopsy found that Martinez had more than 5 times the legal driving limit of alcohol in his system. Prosecutors say that Essick forced him to drink. Essick is one of 3 fraternity members initially arrested in the case. He is due back in court on May the 11th. Now to the far Southwest Valley, where a major animal cruelty investigation is unfolding tonight. Deputies say that they busted an active cockfighting operation in a remote area of Rainbow Valley. This is video here from the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office showing the scene of the operation near 107th Avenue and Cotton Lane. 8 people were arrested, and after searching the property, investigators found 2 cockfighting rings with active fights in progress, bedding activity, several dead roosters, and 157 live roosters. The sheriff's office says that it now needs the public's help to shut down more of these illegal operations.
We need the eyes and ears of the community to really root out illegal animal fighting, whether it's dog fighting or cockfighting. These are sickening, barbaric activities that have no place in the 21st century.
Investigators say that this investigation is still open as they work to identify others involved. New tonight, military members across the country will now be able to bring their own guns onto bases. It's something that they weren't allowed to do for decades. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly is joining us now in studio with how this will all work. Chase?
Creepy, those service members will still have to get permission from their commanders for this to happen. A retired lieutenant colonel with the Air Force anticipates there will be some who do get denied.
Our bases across the country were gun-free zones. Well, that's no longer.
Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth recently signed a memo allowing off-duty military members to bring their personal firearms onto military bases and installations, something Hegseth said was virtually impossible before.
Our warfighters defend the right of others to carry. They should be able to carry themselves.
Retired Lieutenant Colonel Atlas Altman says the only people allowed to have firearms on base were military police and those in training.
There's always been an ask. The military members, as you can imagine, they like to stay proficient in firearms.
Altman, who served for nearly 3 decades, including a leadership role at Luke Air Force Base, said prior to the memo, service members would have to check in their firearms before entering.
The base has a safe, and they keep it, and they can go and check it out, but then they have to leave.
Now that's going to change. Altman says all those weapons will likely be registered in a strict process. That is, if a service member gets approval.
And the military commander is going to have to make the decision. Do I trust this person or not? And if they don't trust this person, they're not bringing a weapon on base.
In situations where a soldier is being investigated for a crime or is suicidal, Altman says they will get denied.
That's something the commander's going to say absolutely not to.
There's also concerns about shootings, like what happened recently at Fort Stewart in Georgia, where an Army sergeant who said they were suicidal was accused of shooting 4 other soldiers and a civilian worker. Concerns the Brady Gun Violence Prevention Organization shared in a statement. The director of state and federal policy said in part, "We will undoubtedly experience an increase in gun suicide and other gun violence." Hegseth says this will help prevent those shootings from happening.
In these instances, minutes are a lifetime. And our service members have the courage and training to make those precious short minutes count.
Hegseth also said for anyone who does get denied, there must be a full report as to why. Now, I did reach out to Luke Air Force Base to see if they can comment on this change, but at this time, I have not heard back. We're live in the studio. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
All right, Chase, thank you. Closing arguments started today in the I Am Mitchum murder trial. Mitchum is accused of murdering Allison Feldman in her Scottsdale home more than a decade ago. For 3 years, investigators had no suspect in the case until they turned to new technology that Arizona authorities had never used before, familial DNA. Investigators say that they identified Mitchum after DNA from the crime scene closely matched genetic materials belonging to his brother, who was already in prison. Today, prosecutors reminded jurors that Mitchum's DNA was found in multiple places around Feldman's home, making it clear that he was there and that he killed her.
Mitchum murdered Allison Feldman, a man down on his luck, angry, nothing left to lose, drinking too much. Mitchum went into Allison Feldman's home, robbed her, sexually assaulted her, murdered her.
Mitchum's attorney is giving his closing arguments right now. The trial has been going on since November of last year.
SG, come on out here. Come on back out.
Some emotional scenes this morning on the Today Show as Savannah Guthrie returned to the anchor chair 65 days after her mother Nancy Guthrie was taken from her home in Tucson. Fans and coworkers brought signs and they wore yellow ribbons to show their support. Savannah said that her faith has kept her going. The FBI is still asking for the public's help in finding Nancy Guthrie. You can submit tips by calling 1-800-CALL-FBI. Happening tomorrow, voters will head to the polls for the Salt River Project election, picking leaders for both the association and the district. The association oversees water delivery while the district handles electricity and infrastructure. The race covers Phoenix, Mesa, and Tolleson, focusing on water and power policy, customer fees, solar, and the valley's growing electricity demand. This year, the race has drawn more attention than usual. The conservative group Turning Point is backing a slate of candidates.